What if I told you that some people seem naturally successful not because they are luckier, richer, or even smarter, but because they understand human psychology better than everyone else around them? They know how to make strong first impressions, gain trust instantly, persuade people without force, and avoid being manipulated themselves. They know how to speak in a way that captures attention, listen in a way that reveals secrets, and act in ways that command respect. In business, relationships, negotiations, and everyday life, psychology can become a secret weapon. The smartest people understand one simple truth: human behavior follows patterns. Once you understand those patterns, life becomes easier to navigate. You can influence outcomes, avoid mistakes, and make better decisions. These are psychological tricks used by smart people. The first psychological trick smart people use is silence. Silence is powerful because most people fear it. In conversations, silence creates tension, and people naturally rush to fill that tension. Smart negotiators ask a question and then stay quiet. The other person often keeps talking, revealing more information than they intended. In arguments, silence can create pressure. In negotiations, silence after stating an offer can make the other side uncomfortable enough to speak first. And often, the person who speaks first gives away power. Silence can also make your words seem more important. A pause before or after a statement adds weight and authority. Another psychological trick is mirroring. Mirroring means subtly copying someone's body language, tone, energy, or speaking style. Humans trust people who feel similar to them. If someone speaks slowly, you slow down. If someone is energetic, you match their energy. If someone leans in, you lean in slightly. This creates comfort and connection. Mirroring makes people feel understood, even if they don't realize why. Smart salespeople use mirroring to build rapport. Smart leaders use it to make others feel heard. Smart negotiators use it to create trust quickly. Using someone's name is another powerful trick. A person's name is emotionally important to them. Hearing your own name grabs your attention and creates a feeling of importance. Smart people use names naturally in conversation. That's a great point, Rahul. I understand what you're saying, a man. It feels personal and respectful, but overusing it can feel fake or manipulative. The smartest people use it sparingly and naturally. Another trick smart people use is the because effect. People are more likely to agree when given a reason. Even a simple reason increases compliance. For example, "Can I go first because I'm in a hurry?" is more persuasive than "Can I go first?" The word because satisfies the brain's need for logic. Smart people know that when asking for something, providing a reason increases the chances of success. Scarcity is another psychological trick. Humans value what seems rare or limited. If something is available forever, people delay. If something seems limited, people act fast. Only 3 left. Offer ends tonight. Limited seats available. Smart marketers and business people use scarcity to create urgency. Scarcity triggers fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. People fear losing opportunities more than they value gaining them. Social proof is another major trick. Humans often decide what is right by looking at what others are doing. If many people like something, buy something, or support something, it feels safer to follow. Smart people use testimonials, reviews, popularity, and examples to persuade. Saying "this is our best-selling product" or "most successful people do this" reduces doubt. People trust crowds, even when crowds are wrong. Anchoring is another trick used by smart people. The first piece of information someone receives strongly influences their judgment. If a shirt is shown at 10,000 Indian rupees and then discounted to 4,000 Indian rupees, it feels cheap. If you only saw 4,000 Indian rupees first, it may feel expensive. The first number sets a mental anchor. In salary negotiations, the first offer often shapes the entire discussion. Smart people understand how first impressions and first numbers create perception. Framing is another powerful tool. The way information is presented changes how it is received. 90% success rate feels positive. 10% failure rate feels negative. Same fact, different emotional response. Smart communicators frame ideas in the most appealing way. Politicians, marketers, and negotiators use framing constantly because the human mind responds more to emotion than pure logic. Another smart psychological trick is a foot-in-the-door technique. Start with a small request. Once someone agrees, they are more likely to agree to a larger request later. For example, asking someone to answer one small question first makes them more likely to help further. People like to stay consistent with their previous actions. Once someone says yes once, saying yes again feels easier. The opposite technique is door in the face. Start with a huge request likely to be rejected, then follow with a smaller request. The smaller request feels reasonable in comparison. For example, asking for 5,000 Indian rupees donation first and then asking for 500 Indian rupees makes 500 Indian rupees feel small. Smart negotiators use contrast to make offers seem attractive. Reverse psychology is another trick. Instead of pushing someone towards something, suggest the opposite. People who value freedom and independence may do the opposite of what they are told. Saying you probably wouldn't like this can create curiosity. Saying maybe this isn't for you can create desire. Smart people know human nature often resists direct pressure. Another trick is strategic compliments. Genuine compliments create warmth and lower defenses. People naturally like those who appreciate them. Smart people compliment effort, intelligence, creativity, or ideas sincerely. This builds rapport and trust. Fake flattery feels manipulative, so authenticity matters. Body language is one of the strongest psychological tools. Before you even speak, people judge confidence, trustworthiness, and authority from body language. Smart people maintain eye contact, stand tall, smile naturally, and control nervous movements. Open posture creates approachability. Strong posture creates authority. Calm movements signal emotional control. Confidence is often communicated physically before verbally. Emotional control is another trick smart people master. Most people react emotionally under stress, criticism, or pressure. Smart people stay calm. Calmness creates power. In arguments, the calmer person often appears stronger and more rational. In negotiations, emotional reactions reveal weakness. Controlling emotions prevents manipulation and leads to better decisions. Listening more than talking is another secret trick. Most people love talking about themselves. Smart people ask questions and listen carefully. The more someone talks, the more information they reveal about desires, fears, insecurities, and motivations. Information creates advantage. Listening also makes others feel respected and valued. Timing is another hidden psychological advantage. Even good ideas fail with bad timing. Smart people know when to ask for favors, when to pitch ideas, when to stay quiet, and when to act. Timing affects emotions and decisions. Asking someone for something when they are happy increases success. Bringing up problems at the wrong time creates resistance. Another trick is using confidence. Confidence influences perception. People often believe confident people, even when they are wrong. A confident voice, clear speech, and certainty create authority. Hesitation creates doubt. Smart people speak with clarity and conviction. Another psychological trick is creating curiosity. Humans hate unanswered questions. Headlines like "You won't believe what happened next" or "The secret no one tells you" create mental tension. Smart communicators use curiosity to gain attention and keep people engaged. Smart people also understand reciprocity. If you help someone, give value, or do them a favor, they often feel pressure to return it. This is why free samples, free advice, and free gifts work so well. People feel obligated to give back. They also understand emotional triggers. Fear, desire, greed, pride, guilt, and hope are powerful motivators. Smart marketers and persuaders speak to emotions first and logic second. People buy emotionally and justify logically. The smartest people don't use these tricks to manipulate unfairly. They use them to communicate better, negotiate smarter, build stronger relationships, and protect themselves from manipulation. Understanding psychology helps you recognize when others are trying to influence you. It helps you avoid scams, pressure tactics, and toxic behavior. Because once you understand how people think, you understand why they act. Once you understand why they act, you can predict behavior. And once you can predict behavior, you stop reacting blindly and start moving strategically. That is the real psychological advantage smart people have.